Well, obviously a disappointing day on Saturday for Tennessee, losing at Georgia. However, you watched the games last night. A number of things started to happen, and you go to bed not feeling too bad about things.
Still opportunity, still a path for Tennessee to go and compete for a championship. And so you got to go out and get better. You got to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
And take care of business the rest of the season.
Don't want to jump to that, but at the same time.
Well, what Tennessee's got to go out and do is just go out and get back to winning football games. You know, you go out there and you win the last three against Missouri, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt. Then, you know, they probably still need a little bit of help. You know, TCU's probably got to lose. You know, they got a great chance to lose, you know, coming up, you know, on Saturday against Texas at Texas. But, you know, Tennessee just got to get back to winning football games. You go 11-1, and the worst-case scenario you got is a trip to the Sugar Bowl. Everybody's going to sign up for that 100 out of 100 times. Potentially more than that, though, if you can go and take care of business. And I think style points matter, right? I mean, Tennessee's got to go out there. They don't need to beat South Carolina 24-20. You want to go out there and beat them 52-20.
Yeah, you got to go dominate. And I think Tennessee is more than capable of doing that. Offensively, one of the best offenses in the country. Was the best offense in the country going into the Georgia game. And Georgia had a great game plan, amazing atmosphere, came up short. Go back to work and dominate the rest of the teams on your schedule. Last year, you did that against Mizzou. South Carolina couldn't hang, and then Vanderbilt couldn't hang. So should be able to go out there and do that this week. But you got to lock in, you got to have a great week of practice, and fix those mistakes.
How hard is it to recover from something like that? You've had such build-up, you get to number one and all that. You get socked in the gut, and you got socked in the gut pretty early and pretty effectively. How do you go back to practice and get back on track?
It's hard when you don't have the leadership. And I think this is the time when the leadership is going to be tested.
Okay. And
guys will have to step up. The Hendon Hookers, the Jerome Carvins of the world, Javonte Spraggins, guys that have played a lot of football games, it's their time to step up and let these younger guys and the rest of the team know that, hey, use this as motivation.
Right.
Let's go out there and get better. So we'll learn a lot about this football team coming up this week and how they play, and we'll see the leaders step up.
What was the feeling you got after the game? You're there, you're talking with Heupel, you're talking with the players. What was the vibe?
Just yesterday wasn't their day. You know, they never got settled into the football game.
Yeah.
You know, they got that fumble early and then, you know, kind of went like 13 yards and kicked a field goal, and, you know, it just never seemed to click or vibe. I mean, you didn't score a touchdown until 4 minutes to go in the football game. I mean,
which was a big touchdown, by the way.
You know,
I'm serious. It was a big touchdown. I kept saying, you got to score a touchdown here because style points are going to matter. You made a comment off camera when we were sitting here talking with our guest, Jerome Carvin, and you said, you got to win big in these last three games. 27-13 looks a lot better than 27-6.
Or 52-20 or anything like that. Yeah, 100%.
Or Oregon 49-3. So, I mean, to me, the style points of getting that touchdown, had they scored again and cut it to 27-20, you really feel good about it.
Yeah, I mean, that number on the piece of paper looks better than the actual football game that took place.
No question.
I mean, it was rough, and Georgia probably could have scored some more, but they wanted to run the football and get out of there. But style points matter in this case for sure when you're looking at trying to impress a committee to get into the college football playoff.
Yeah, and so you're going to get into one of those kind of like potentially an Oregon versus Tennessee discussion. A one-loss Oregon, one-loss Tennessee. They both lost to Georgia.
One's a conference champion and one's not.
Correct.
We're going to have this whole conversation later, so we'll get into that a little bit later.
My point though is Georgia took the foot off the gas against Oregon. Like it was 49-0. They put in the backup quarterback. They could have continued to roll.
But they were still drafting people and passing people at 49-3.
Yeah.
I mean, Tennessee, that didn't happen. So for Tennessee, obviously you got to work on the false starts. You got to work on the illegal procedures that happen. And we'll talk with Jerome Carvin about that in just a few minutes. But how much of that was the environment?
Well, it was 100% the environment. Yeah. I mean, it was loud. I mean, it was right up there with as good as anything I've seen in this conference, whether it be Neyland, Bryant-Denny, the Swamp, LSU at night, Auburn at night. I mean, those are all places that I've watched games and thought, man, this is an electric crowd. It's the loudest I've seen it since I've been going to games since 2004 there at Sanford Stadium.
Yeah, there's been this silly conversation about which stadium is louder. Is it this one? Is it that one? Is it Neyland? Is it louder than Neyland? It don't matter. Either you can hear or you can't hear. And on Saturday, you couldn't hear. I mean, you just could not hear. You can tell that it affected, our team.
I think my thought, Sanford did to Tennessee on Saturday what Neyland did to Florida and Kentucky and Alabama in those games that were here. The home field advantage is worth how many points? In the SEC,
What?
how many points is it worth in that environment?
Well,
I mean, 14 points?
Well, it depends on how you handle it. And for Georgia, it was worth more than 3 points. It was worth a touchdown or two because Tennessee had a lot of penalties, and when you got to the red zone, we had those penalties and couldn't really get going to score touchdowns.
While I understand that Tennessee never got going and there wasn't one play that was a play of the game when you lose like that, to me there was one play that changed the whole game because Tennessee never got started. And what was it?
It's the
the punt.
The 75-yard punt.
Yep.
Because when the 75-yard punt happened, Tennessee should get the ball at the 30. They're standing at the 30 waiting to return this. You're backed up after this right here. You just can't get going.
No, I mean, like they were lucky to not get the safety called on them. It was a very smart play by Spraggins to pick that ball up and just try to get it back to the out of the end zone. But you're right. I mean, and you see the play right here is, Spraggins just tries to get out.
Why replay if you look at the replay and he didn't get out, but you say he did. But anyway, keep going.
Yeah, I really don't understand the logic of a lot of replay decisions that the conference or college football makes in general. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Then you set them up here on a 30-yard short field, and Lad McConkey hits Danico Slaughter with a double move, and boom, boom, and
boom, boom. It's 14-3.
Yep.
And you're playing behind the 8 ball. I mean, that quickly, and it's almost like you almost wish that they had gotten the safety because then you could have kicked off and field position. You would have flipped the field back.
Yeah, potentially, no doubt. That could have easily happened.
Kind of like the Ole Miss game last year.
Yeah. Here's the thing, and Chris Lowe said this on the Nation. I thought it was a very astute point. The thing about the crowd is, Tennessee never gave them a reason to quieten down. When you don't score a touchdown until 4. Yeah, if you don't score, a touchdown with 4 minutes to go, you never had. And at that point, the touchdown was so cosmetic, really. There was never a moment where you felt like, okay, here it comes. Okay, here it comes. Field goals don't stop the crowd. Touchdowns stop the crowd.
Yeah, and the crowd just, like you mentioned, the crowd never sat down. They never was quiet because offensively, they were getting big chunk plays too.
Yeah.
So
whereas like at Alabama or Florida, they were scoring touchdowns to counter Tennessee. So no matter how loud Neyland got, there were moments of a break.
So Jerome Carvin is here in studio, and we're going to get to him. And I think this, as a wide receiver, obviously, the communication when you're in a stadium like that, and we'll bring Jerome in here in just a second as soon as the camera gets over there, how different is it for an offensive lineman versus a wide receiver when it comes to communication?
Well, it's even more critical because you got a guy right in front of you that you have to block, and if he gets off the ball quicker than you, it can be the difference between you being able to block him and him getting to the quarterback. As a wide receiver, I mean, it's not as important because you're looking at the ball. You should never really jump off sides as a wide receiver, and you don't have someone rushing a passer as a receiver. So for those linemen, it's super important that they get off the ball when the ball's snapping. When you can't hear and you're relying on that verbal communication, it makes it tough.
So you're going to do the whole player perspective here in just a second, but Jerome, I'm going to ask you, in a sense, how do you communicate when you're trying to go so fast? You've got to communicate. You can't hear each other. How hard is it?
Man, it's extremely hard. Mainly, the main thing that you have to do is relay the call down the line, and where it's guys like, man, you like me talking to the left tackle and relaying it down to the center, and the center relaying it down to the right guard, and the right guard relaying it down to the right tackle. It has to be that. It has to be said multiple times.
In 15 seconds.
Exactly, at a fast pace, because of tempo. Man, it's not the easiest thing to do, but man, it has to get done. Especially in that environment.
So I'm going to let you and Jason have the conversation after the break. We'll take a break, and then the player perspective brought to you by Food City when we come back on The Locker Room.
The Locker Room is brought to you by Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Iris Networks, Knoxville Orthopedic Clinics, and Exterior Home Solutions.
When it comes to the game of football, teamwork is critical for success. When it comes to customer service and business, that team approach is just as critical. That's why we're such believers in our friends at Exterior Home Solutions. We have seen firsthand how Exterior Home Solutions has supported our community and treats their customers just like family. So when it comes to roofing, siding, or maybe a complete overhaul, please make Exterior Home Solutions your first and only call.
Football is back, and OAB Law is excited for a season full of big hits and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OEB Law will come to your defense. Call OEB Law and turn your wreck into a check.
Blue 2020 F-150 41990. Hut! Jake drops back. He's got a deal wide open. The crowd goes wild. With savings, whether you're looking for a low-mileage pre-owned truck to tailgate in or a minivan to get the whole family to the game, the Pre-Owned Patrol has what you're looking for. Only at Ted Russell Ford on Kingston Pike or Parkside Drive.
Hey, this is UT head football coach Josh Heupel. It's football time in Tennessee. When the Big Orange play, you don't have to miss a second of the action. Before, during, and after the game, just make sure your radios are tuned in to 107.7 WIVK. Or if you're on the go, download the WIVK app and listen anywhere. Your flagship station for the Tennessee Volunteers. 107.7 WIVK. It's a Tennessee tradition.
Do you want top-of-the-line fitness equipment for home, school, or work? New or reconditioned, Dynabody in Maryville has everything you need to build that gym. Used equipment brands include Paramount, Life Fitness, Nautilus, Hammer Strength, and Precor. Reach for the power with Dynabody.
Feels like just yesterday I was out there in West Tennessee and Memphis interviewing a young offensive lineman that was being recruited by Tennessee. We've had a few coaching changes since then, but he's been the steady rock, especially on the left side and occasionally at center. Jason with Jerome Carvin.
Hey, Jerome, one of the leaders here on this football team, and enduring a tough loss. You being one of the leaders, what are you saying to the troops? What are you saying to the rest of the team after a game like that?
Man, it was a tough loss. It's that or that, but man, we gotta keep our head up, man. We gotta remain focused, man. We still got a season ahead of us, man. It's a game, yeah, and it's a tough game. It's an SEC East game, and it's a game that you want to win, of course. But man, we got so much ahead of us still, and we gotta take it day by day. And simple as that, man. Our main focus is Missouri, and that's all our eyes is facing towards Missouri. We can't worry about anything else, so we have to worry about ourselves and go back to work.
Outside world would suggest that a game like that, it's really hard to take any positives from that game, but there are positives that you can take from this game. What are some of those positives for you that you can take and get better at moving forward? Man, just not laying down, especially coming down in that environment, going down early and just facing all that adversity early on in the game, man. We didn't struggle. We didn't lay down, and that's the main thing. Is, man, we continue to fight. We continue to claw back, man, and it's tough, man. When you shoot yourself in the foot, man, it's tough to come back, man. But man, still, man, we were able to fight. What was the message in the locker room after the game, making sure that guys just didn't get too down on themselves, understanding that there's still season to be played? What was that message in the locker room for you guys? It was pretty simple, man. It was go back to work. Man, we got punched in our mouth on Saturday. Man, you go back to work. How are you gonna respond? And that was the main message coming back in the locker room after the game, man. It's a tough game, yeah. It was a tough loss, man. But man, that loss will determine, man, later on if you go to work or not. If what I'm saying, we got to show up. So that was the main message. What do you remember about Mizzou last year? You got these guys in here coming in noon game. What do you remember about this team last year that will help you this week against the Tigers? Man, I would just say personnel. Man, we know the personnel pretty well. They're nickel-based defense offensively, and man, I think the matchups are great for us, as well as our tempo. Man, our tempo was good, and man, we was able to run the ball well last year. So we got to continue to do that and make it happen this year. Noon game. You looking forward to that after a tough game against Georgia? Is it better to come in here and play a noon game? I think so. I think we'll be ready to rock and roll on noon, man. We're pretty mad about our loss, man, but we're gonna bounce back for sure. How are you feeling? Physical-wise, there's a physical football game against Georgia. You feeling good, sore, banged up a little bit? Man, a little sore, man. It's a physical football game. That's what it is in the SEC East, man. So a little sore, but man, we're definitely gonna bounce back and ready to get healthy. Describe the atmosphere there at Athens. There was talk about the stadium noise going into the game. What was it like being in that environment, trying to hear and try to communicate with your teammates? Man, it was tough. It was loud. It was a loud environment, man. Hence the pre-snap penalties that we had. Man, just
in that environment, you got to be able to communicate. You got to be able to mentally focus, mentally lock in on the different pitches that you see. And they're going to line up in different things than what we practice. But you just have to be able to mentally focus and mentally lock in regarding the noise. Block the noise out and be able to communicate with each other, man. You got to play ball.
Is Tennessee still a top 5 team in the country, top 4 team in the country, in your opinion?
I believe so. I believe so. But, man, we got to go out there and show it.
Yep.
And that's going to be a main focus for us, showing it.
Hendon, tough game for them for sure. But you guys have a team full of players that have been through some adversity, and we'll see what we're made of coming up this week. You looking forward to the challenge?
Man, looking forward to it. Looking forward to it, man. It'll say a lot about our team, how we come out on Saturday against Missouri.
A lot of noise, positive noise leading up to this game. Everyone happy about the #1 ranking. The noise will be a little bit different. A lot of people on the outside of Tennessee happy that Tennessee lost because of all the hype. How do you handle that noise? Do you block it out? Do you see it, use it as motivation?
Man, we block it out. We got to worry about us. Simple as that. Ranking or not, it doesn't matter. The only rankings that matter is in January. And so we got to continue to play ball. We got to continue to go out there and, execute. And that's going to be the main huge focus for us coming up, man, execution. So,
Jerome, Carvin, leaders on this offense. This team is still a top 5 team with their goals right in front of them. They'll go back to work for Mizzou this weekend.
Jerome, give us something more than just a run through on senior day, buddy. Karate, we need to do some type of kung fu kick, cartwheel. Maybe Joe could teach you to do a backflip. So,
don't hurt yourself, okay? Enjoy senior day. By the way, if you would like to support the initiative that is the Big Orange, it's Volunteer Club. Go to volunteerclub.com and partner up with Spire Sports and Tennessee Athletics. So when we come back, we'll get into all of those scenarios now that Tennessee is where they are. We'll do that next on The Locker Room, connected by Iris Networks.
The Locker Room is brought to you by Commercial Bank, Humana, E2 Sports, and OEB Law. The Locker Room is brought to you in part by Knoxville Orthopedic Clinics, the exclusive orthopedic provider for University of Tennessee Athletics for over 70 years.
This is the story of John Smith. Not this John Smith, or this John Smith, or any of the other hundreds of John Smiths that are Humana Medicare Advantage members. No, it's this John Smith, who we paired with a Humana team member to help address his own specific health needs. At Humana, we take a personal approach to your health to provide care that's just as unique as you are, no matter what your name is.
Behind every Food City meat and seafood counter is a highly trained, certified butcher. Our butchers offer special orders, custom cuts, and even entire meal recommendations. In fact, you'll be so impressed with our butchers, you'll be asking yourself, what can't they do?
Huh, I bet he'd be great at wrapping presents.
Okay, well, maybe not that. But at Food City, our butchers make almost everything better.
D1 training is not only for the athlete who wants to perform at their best. D1 offers adult training programs because we believe everybody needs training. With a specialized facility, targeted workouts, and professional trainers, D1 Training has been in business 20 years strong. We'll give you everything you need to succeed. All you have to do is show up. Join us, D1 Hardin Valley or D1 Sevier County.
D1 Sports Training, the place for the athlete. Humana's Inside the Huddle takes us to the defensive side of the ball, and we highlight Jeremy Banks, one of the better linebackers in the SEC, one of Tennessee's best linebackers, and talking to Jim Nagy of the Senior Bowl tonight on The Nation, he talked about Jeremy Banks being one of the fastest linebackers, when he enters the draft this year. It'll just boil down to just kind of overcoming the interview process for Jeremy Banks with those NFL teams. But on the field, very, very productive, Jason.
He was flying around. He didn't quit at all. Very proud of how the defense continued to play. You're not going to get any quit from Jeremy Banks. So 27 points, offense. If you can sign up for that at the beginning of the game, you would. So defense play hard. Jeremy Banks flying around.
If you can play him again and hold him to 27, I think you'd take it right now.
Absolutely, especially a neutral site.
So the conversations that we'll have now are based on Tennessee taking care of their business. Yeah, they're all private. We're not sharing them with television markets outside of Knoxville. Is that Tennessee goes 11-1.
Sure.
These are the conversations. Tennessee takes care of their business, and as you said, does it in impressive fashion. If only TCU loses, is Tennessee in?
I'm going to say yes, and here's why. Because Georgia and either Michigan or Ohio State will be undefeated. So that's 2 spots.
1 and 2.
So then you've got 2 spots for Oregon, Michigan, Tennessee. And in those instances, I do think Tennessee, because of the wins over LSU and Alabama, as long as those teams continue to win out too, that just makes Tennessee's resume that much stronger.
TCU the key.
Yeah, TCU is the key. And they got some tough tests coming up with the rest of their season.
At Texas, at Baylor, Iowa State.
Yeah, for sure. But I think Tennessee has the respect of the committee. You saw that with them being ranked number 1 a couple days ago. So
be interested to see where they are this week. Are they 5? Are they 4? Yeah. Where are they?
Well, they should be. I mean, you would think they would be 5. You would think it would be Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU, Tennessee.
Yeah, but TCU was 10th last week or 9th or whatever they were.
7th, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to have a huge jump to me to get up there.
So how much, and I don't know that you guys know the answer, we're just having a discussion here, how much does it matter on your resume that you are a conference champion? As a one-loss UCLA, Oregon, or USC as a Pac-12 champion, would they pass a non-conference champion Tennessee? And this conversation's been had many years in the past.
It didn't matter last year when Georgia lost in the SEC championship and still went and won the whole deal. So
it won't matter.
Yeah, can Tennessee do that this year? I mean, I think you got to take care of business against Mizzou, South Carolina, Vanderbilt. You got to go beat them down. Simple as that. So the fact that it happened last year should bode well for Tennessee.
The one difference to that is Georgia played for the SEC. Tennessee will not be playing for the SEC. That's the only thing that works against Tennessee.
The only 2 conferences that will have an undefeated champion will be the SEC and Big Ten.
Yes, more than likely.
Unless TCU wins the Big 12 undefeated and then they're in. And then in that scenario, is TCU the 4th team in? Is Tennessee the 4th team in?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think it's probably a little harder for Tennessee to get in if TCU is in the mix. I think if you're talking 2 spots, I think it's a little different. Like if you're talking about having 2 locked-in teams and then that USC, Oregon, Tennessee, or Michigan or Ohio State, the loser of that game, being that one-loss team group that's battling for 2 spots, it's a little easier to see Tennessee.
The fact that Alabama is now out of it is key because now the SEC championship game doesn't matter.
Well, I mean,
even if LSU beats Georgia, if LSU goes, LSU beats Georgia, they've got 2 losses and Tennessee hammered them. That wouldn't matter. It would have mattered before if Alabama beat Georgia in the SEC championship. Now it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, now let's play devil's advocate here. Ole Miss beats Alabama this week. LSU coughs one up down the stretch. Ole Miss goes to Atlanta as a one-loss team. Where does all that play? I mean,
that would be good.
You can move chess pieces around all the time. The likelihood is TCU's probably not going to make it through unscathed. Oregon has got to play 3 tough games down the stretch before they even get to a potential USC matchup in the Pac-12 championship game. 2 of those are at home, though. They get Utah at home, they get Washington at home. Then they got to go to Oregon State, which is always a thrill a minute in that rivalry.
To steal a line from Ron Slay, you just got me
keep winning. You just keep winning.
You just got me discombobulated. Okay, that's Ron Slay's line. Because whenever you threw the what if Ole Miss runs the table with 1 loss, I mean, they're not beating Georgia.
I mean, probably not, no. But, I mean, again, like.
If that happened.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of like, to me, talking about Ole Miss getting to Atlanta is like talking about TCU running the table or Oregon or anything. I mean, like, it could happen.
It could happen,
but
but
there's a
probably
lot
not.
of things between now and the first weekend in December.
Here's the weirdest thing for me. TCU will play at Texas Saturday night. I'm a TCU alum. My dad graduated from TCU. My brother, my sister, all 4 of us were Horned Frogs. My mom's the only one that wasn't. This is the first time I'll be watching TCU pulling for Texas.
Hook 'em. Let's go.
That's pitiful, man. That's
It's
your
going to
alma
be
mater.
weird. It's going to be weird. I got to take a break
believe
and
you
even
turned
think
your
about
back
this.
on your
I need to
alma
go
mater.
shower to wash off what I just said on the locker room. How do I pull against my alma mater?
It's easy.
Because you're a smart businessman.
Ugh.
The Locker Room is brought to you by Pilot Company, Ted Russell Ford, Food City, and Lincoln Memorial University.
Community banking is about location and much more. It's about family. We reside in your community. We are a part of your community. At Commercial Bank, our commitment extends beyond the walls of our branches. It's displayed each day in the opportunities we provide, the money we give back, and the time we commit, all to help improve the lives of the people, families, and businesses that make our communities great. Commercial Bank, life made better.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Costad. Dr. Malone and I here at Knoxville Smiles are here to help you with any of your dental needs, whether it's a routine cleaning, a root canal, or if you just want some advice. Did you know that you don't have to settle for a denture anymore? My team and Dr. Malone are here to help you no matter where you're at and to help you figure out the truth for your dental health. So give us a call or visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
Matlock Tire has a reputation for being a little bit old school. We're proud to be known for our outstanding hometown customer service. We've been doing things that way for over 60 years. But Matlock now offers new modern conveniences, such as family-friendly waiting areas, online appointment scheduling. You can even shop for tires and see our current stock right from your computer or smartphone. We invite you to stop into one of our 5 convenient locations or come see us online at matlocktireservice.com. Modern convenience, hometown service. Matlock Tire Service and Auto Repair.
I chose LMU because I wanted doors to open for me. For my future to have endless possibilities. To know I could become anything I wanted to be. Objection, Your Honor. I always wanted to say that. So whether I wanted to be a veterinarian, a high school teacher, let's turn to page 32, or a successful dentist, I knew LMU would help me get there. All I had to do was open the door.
Better hurry up. If you and 3 friends want to have lunch with the Vols, go to HillaryFrostHomes.com. Partnering up with Spire Sports, we'll announce the winner Sunday night, December the 4th. It won't be after the SEC championship game for Tennessee unless Georgia loses twice, which is not going to happen. But still, we will have some clarity about the conversations we have had. Okay, so Missouri, let's look at Missouri. How in the world was Missouri up on Georgia the entire game until the 4th quarter?
Georgia did not bring their A game. Simple as that.
Yeah, correct. And you know, it was one of those instances where they just kind of went in there with sleepwalking, so to speak. And
they didn't bring their A game.
Yeah, I mean it's the easiest way to put it. Okay. Either way, like Missouri is scrappy. They still can't score. The one thing they can do is play a little bit of defense. Now, a year ago, they couldn't stop me or you running the football, which is why, you know, Tyon Evans looked like, you know,
Marshall Faulk,
Herschel Walker, and Bo Jackson all wrapped up in one in Columbia. So, you know, I just think if Tennessee gets off to a quick start again, this thing steamrolls. To me, this is, by the way, I felt so bad for Missouri. You know, I mean, like, how do you lose that game in that fashion? Snap the ball over the punter's head.
What's the line, by the way?
20.
It's 20?
Yeah.
Wow. So Tennessee needs to win by more than 20. Style points, you said?
Got to beat their heads in if you're Tennessee.
I think Hype knows that too. Like I have a feeling that like if he can drop the hammer on these last 3, he's going to drop the hammer.
And Mizzou was embarrassed last year, so they're going to come out ready.
We're out of time. It's a noon game on CBS. It's 11 a.m. Central Time. We'll see you next week on The Locker Room.